The Supreme Court today is hearing a case that could save the life of a death row inmate. Back in 1995, Dwayne Buck killed his former girlfriend and her friend. He's been fighting his death sentence for years, saying it was based in part on racial prejudice. That's because a psychologist told jurors Buck posed a greater threat to society because he was black. Now it looks like the Supreme Court may be willing to give Buck another chance. CBS News Justice reporter Paula Reid joins me now from the Supreme Court. And Paula, I got to ask, why is this back in front of the Supreme Court after all these years?
Jamie, in the state of Texas, before you can sentence someone to the death penalty, a jury needs to assess their future dangerousness. So if you ever got out from a life sentence, how dangerous would you be in the community? And in this case, Buck's own lawyer put on an expert who said not only would he be a danger to the community, he would be an even greater danger because he was black. Now you might ask, what kind of lawyer would do that? Well, a defense attorney who the New York Times called one of the worst defense attorneys of all time. There was a profile done on him. He was known for losing capital cases. 21 years later, finally, Mr. Buck is here before the Supreme Court trying to get not a new trial, but a new sentencing hearing.
You know, I got to ask you, Paula, there's no doubt that Buck's guilty in this case. So what are we really talking about if his death sentence was racially motivated? What's the defense trying to argue here?
His attorneys are arguing that he was sentenced in violation of his constitutional right to receive a sentence regardless of his race. The state of Texas, on the other side, agrees that it's not okay to put this kind of evidence into trial. In fact, it's now illegal in the state of Texas to bring this kind of evidence into a sentencing hearing. But the state of Texas is here arguing that even if this testimony was not brought into the sentencing hearing, he still would have received the death penalty. Jamie, a little nugget here from the court. It is tradition that both sides of the case usually come out here where I'm standing after arguments and address the media. The state of Texas didn't even come out to address the media. So they really know they're on an unsympathetic side of this case.
Interesting. We know now that the court has 8 justices following Anton Scalia's death, and Obama's nominee for the court, Merrick Garland, has not been given a hearing on taking that vacant seat. Will the Supreme Court be able to rule on this, or is this another one of these cases that'll end up in a tie?
Even if it ends up in a tie, that's a decision, and that essentially means that Mr. Buck will never get a new sentencing hearing. But the justices seem like they were probably leaning in the direction of granting him a win here. But even if he wins here, it's a long road to get a new sentencing hearing. And Jamie, even if he gets a new sentencing hearing, it's likely he could potentially get a death sentence again. But if he does, it would be a death sentence without the testimony about his race.
All right, can't wait to see what happens. Justice reporter Paula Reid, thank you.